The police have the ability to to issue the $200 attendee violation tickets, and clearly, the police making an order telling individuals to disperse. And if they refuse to, or they're being belligerent, then they would be able to issue a $200 violation ticket.
Do you have a follow-up?
I do. I'm just wondering about the scenario of a house party, and I'm hoping you can just confirm or clarify that I understand this correctly. If there's a house party and there's 50 people, that's allowed, but let's say, 38 of them are gathered in a kitchen, as often happens. Would there be tickets? I don't think there would be, but you tell me, would there be tickets handed out to individuals who are standing closer than 2 meters apart? Or what would happen there if the police show up and there's, 50 or more people there, and there's also violations in terms of physical distancing? Who's on the hook for that, and would that be enforced?
Well, first off, whenever there's a gathering and it's not just about 50 people, the provincial health officer has in place rules that you are to maintain to be able to maintain 2 meters of social distancing. Again, police have their discretion, but if you have 38 people crammed into a kitchen and there's no social distancing being able to take place, then clearly that's in a violation of the order, and the owner would be subject to a $2,000 ticket. And for example, if the police indicated that people had to leave and they chose not to leave, or they were being belligerent, then of course they would be they would get a $200 ticket. Police use their discretion on these kinds of situations all the time. And what we're wanting to do is to get the message out that, look, there are consequences for not following the health orders. So in the case of a house party, and the rules are there, and you can go online and find the rules about the gatherings. And the reality is this: local communities and local bylaw officers often have a very good idea on where those problem properties are and who the repeat offenders are, as do police, because it's not just COVID-19 that they're often called to an unruly house party, for example. And so they have the ability to go to give a ticket to the owner of the residence or an establishment or at the venue. People can be told to disperse, and they may decide that, given the nature of it, that it's not just about dispersing, but you will receive a $200 ticket for in a particularly egregious offense. But the message is this: there's a small minority. That's where these measures are targeted at, and the challenge that we're facing is very much those indoor venues, and that's what we're trying to target here.
Follow, Brenna?
Sure. I guess maybe I would just pivot and kind of use the example of that beach party that happened at Third Beach a while ago, and how enforcement might have happened under these new measures in that instance.
Well,
in terms of individual picketing.
In the case of that beach party, for example, one of the things that we saw was that it was advertised and people were told not to bring a mask. So here you have a case of the organizer or the promoter of the event deliberately encouraging people to ignore provincial health officer orders. The individual or individuals who are responsible for that would get a $2,000 fine. Those who were attending, and if they were not, for example, engaged in the appropriate social distancing of 2 meters, and police said, you need to disperse, and they didn't, they would receive a $200 ticket. So clearly, the message is, if you're outside and you're not following the proper orders, there's a penalty. First off, you don't just say, oh, there's 30 people in here and we're 5 cohorts of 6 people. That doesn't fly right now, and it doesn't fly with these regulations in place. The guidelines that the provincial health officer has put in place under her order are pretty clear. You have to be in a space that manages to maintain the appropriate 2 meters of social distancing. Actually, I think most of the questions that I have been answering have been about the indoor events. I think I've been asked, the one one question about outdoor. I've made it clear that our focus and our big concern are those indoor parties that have been taking place in private residences. That's where the significant transmission has been taking place.